going to be a super quick but super important video on probably the top piece of dementia caregiving advice anybody can ever give you. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know I have some cardinal rules, right? Like, I don't think we should be testing our loved one's memory by asking them, like, do you know who this is? What about this person? What did you do yesterday? What did you eat yesterday? I don't think that's great. I also don't think we should be correcting our loved ones when they make a mistake or say something false. I don't think we should really be correcting them unless their safety is at risk. I think it's totally okay to be choosing kindness over truth, meaning sometimes we don't actually say 100% the truth because we know the harm and the detriment it's going to cause to them after we say it, or that where they are in their disease process, they're not even fully going to be able to understand it. So we choose a more kind response. Again, I have videos on all of these different approaches. And so I have these things, right? Like, and one of the other things is like, we don't remind people they have dementia, right? When they want to do something and they can't. And the reason is because they have dementia. Like, we don't say that. Now, that being said, Careblazer, you probably have interacted with your loved one in a way, like maybe you've tested their memory. Maybe you've reminded them they've had dementia, and maybe your loved one is totally fine with it. Then that's okay, right? Like, not every single piece of dementia caregiving advice or tip or strategy you see on the internet or read in an article is going to apply to you. That's okay, right? So, Careblazer, this is like the general rule of thumb about whether something is working or maybe you want to change something up. If you respond in a certain way to your loved one and your loved one seems totally okay with it, it's probably a perfectly decent response, right? Don't hear a piece of dementia advice or information and think, oh my God, I've been doing that the whole time. I didn't even know what was wrong. But your loved one seems totally fine with it. Like, it might be totally okay. Now, that also being said, I want to make sure sometimes we think our loved ones are okay with a response. But when we really look at them, we see their nonverbals, like they may have taken a hit. It may have taken them down a notch. It may make them feel a little bit bad. And so I do really still strongly recommend, like, I have my cardinal rules for my Careblazers that I think are really important. That being said, Careblazer, you know your loved one the best. And so if you're doing something and you think it works great, keep doing it. If you're doing something and it's not working great and you've been trying some sort of specific approach or tip you read about or you watched a video on and it's not working for you and your loved one, don't use it for you and your loved one. I am a firm believer that there is a beautiful, positive, creative way to respond to every single challenging dementia behavior or every single challenging situation. And it's on us to really discover it and figure it out. And a lot of times it's not going to be a one size fits all for every single person with dementia. That being said, Careblazer, I do have a special free live virtual class on how to successfully respond to challenging dementia behaviors. It's the one thing that anybody can use in any situation. Like, how do you apply it? So I think it's incredibly powerful and helpful. If you want to register and save your spot for free, I'm putting a link below this video. I'll also put a link on the screen here for you to join. I'd love to have you, but I just felt like I needed to hop in here and do this quick video because I was just on my Instagram account. For those of you who don't know, I like Instagram. I post a lot of short videos on there, a lot of short tips. And one of the most recent videos I did was basically like, don't remind your loved one they have dementia, right? So usually no good, right? Even if they're struggling, even if they're wondering what's wrong with their brain, like, find a way to reassure them, find a way to respond to them, absolutely. But usually saying like, oh, you have dementia, either they're going to be upset, they're going to argue, they're not going to believe it, or they're going to be really sad or heartbroken or concerned or worried. It's like, what? Reminding them they have dementia as a reason they can't do something they want to do, I don't really think is a great idea. But somebody commented below and was like, oh, I do that and my mom seems fine. And so I'm like, great. If it works for you, keep doing it, Careblazer. If it doesn't, consider changing it. And then my caveat, like, if we were reading a book, there'd be like a little asterisk and it would say like, but do you really think your mom's fine? Like, is your mom truly fine when you constantly remind her about this? Or like, maybe we could still experiment with different ways to respond, right, that don't remind her of this disease. Like, I don't know, I have some brain fog today too. My brain doesn't work all the way I want all the time, or I'm going to be by your side every step of the way and we're going to figure it out, right? Like reassuring her in that way. So again, Careblazer, this is just your permission slip, if you need one, to use whatever you have found works with your loved one. We're not dealing with like robots with an operating manual where we can like say X and they respond Y, right? Probably be really easy if it was like that, but it's not. So if you have found a way that your loved one responds really well to, by all means, Careblazer, keep doing it, right? More power to you. And then just know there's always a way. There's always a creative approach. There's always something that will work for your loved one without tearing them down, without leading to more aggressive behaviors or strange behaviors. So if you feel like you've been banging your head against the wall, you're running yourself into the ground, you're feeling like everything you're doing, nothing is working, and you're at a loss for how to respond to some of those behaviors, Careblazer, special invite. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be doing this free class. I'm going to do it several weeks at least. So whatever week this is right now, I promise I'll go live and teach it. So reserve your spot. And you'll get an email on exactly how to join that live virtual training on how to successfully respond to any difficult, challenging dementia behavior, even if your loved one doesn't think they need help, even if your loved one doesn't believe they have dementia, even if your loved one is resisting your care. I'm going to give you the framework you need to help you, okay? That's all, Careblazer. Sending love to you all. Let me know if you're going to be there at a live class. Like, let me know in the comments that you signed up and you saved a spot. I'd love to welcome you in. All right, bye.